from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening. This is the National News Telecast. I'm Movin Hettiarachchi.
And I'm Shah Mascarenhas. First, it's a look at the day's headlines.
The Public Utilities Commission and the Ceylon Electricity Board discussed the power tariff hike. Election monitors say that some candidates are not ready for the polls. A circular pertaining to purchase of paddy in the Maha season has been released. Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation backs the Excellent Journalist of the Year award at the International Eminence Excellence 2023 awarding ceremony in Dubai. Scientists say that Turkey quake is one of the massive earthquakes in history. Sri Lanka women's cricket team sets a new record.
That's it! Sri Lanka win!
Now on to those and more stories in detail. On today's top story, the National Council has informed the officials of the Electricity Board and the Public Utilities Commission to have a discussion together before taking a final decision on the electricity tariff hike.
The Parliament announces that accordingly, both parties have agreed to meet this evening. The National Council has taken this decision when it met this morning under the patronage of Speaker Mahindayappa Abeyewardena and Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena. The chairman of the Ceylon Electricity Board has said that if the board was not permitted a 60% tariff hike, it will have to face a severe crisis. The chairman points out that there is a risk of having lengthy power cuts as the board has no money even to import coal. The Public Utilities Commission says the final decision on the tariff hike will be declared on the 15th of this month. The Commission points out that views and figures of CEB, relevant stakeholders and the public have already been obtained in this regard. The National Council also focused attention on the matter that both the Chairman and the Director General of the PUC had gone abroad at present. The Secretary of the PUC said that their being abroad is a pre-planned tour. The National Commission pointed out that both the CEB and the PUC must take a common decision following a proper discussion.
The government has decided to purchase a kilo of paddy at a maximum price of 100 rupees. The relevant circular was issued by the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of National Policies today. The circular is relevant to the purchase of paddy during the Maha season 2023. Accordingly, a quantity of Nadu variety of proper standard will be purchased at 100 rupees. A kilo of Nadu variety exceeding 14% of moisture will be only paid a maximum of 88 rupees. 2,000 kilos of paddy will be purchased from each farmer who has cultivated up to a land extent of 1 acre. 4,000 kilos will be purchased from farmers who have cultivated land ranging from 1 acre to 2 acres. 5,000 kilos will be purchased from farmers who have exceeded 2 acres of paddy crops. State Minister Ranjit Sembalapitia says that these paddy stocks will be milled by March and April this year, and rice will be distributed 10 kilos per family among selected families. Attorney General has filed a revised petition to Colombo High Court requesting to declare the decision taken by Colombo Magistrate Court recently regarding the convener of the Inter-University Students' Federation, Vasantha Mudalige, null and void.
Vasantha Mudalige was arrested under the Prevention of Terrorism Act and the Magistrate Court had ordered to release him, citing no adequate evidence for him to arrest. The Attorney General has directed this revised petition on behalf of the Terrorist Investigating Bureau, naming Vasantha Mudalige as the respondent. The Attorney General says that the decision taken by the magistrate courts to release Vasantha Mudalige is against the law. Therefore, the AG has requested to revise the order given by the Colombo Magistrate Courts in this connection. The Colombo Chief Magistrate Court has ordered to re-summon the complaint against former parliamentarian Hirunika Premachandra and 13 others on the 15th of June. She was produced before courts under the charge of disturbing the duty of police officers on the last International Women's Day, holding an illegal protest campaign at the Independence Square in Colombo. Then she was released on bail. The appeal court has informed that the decision will be declared on the 17th of this month whether the petition against the cabinet of the electricity tariff hike will be taken up for consideration. The Electricity Consumers Association and the Centre for Environmental Justice had filed this petition requesting to cancel the cabinet decision taken to increase the electricity bill. The election monitoring organizations say that some candidates have not yet started their canvassing campaigns.
However, at some press briefings today, the election monitoring organization said that they have already started election monitoring activities. Executive Director of the Peripheral Organization, Rohana Hettiarachchi, said that obviously that some candidates have not initiated their election propaganda campaigns due to the prevailing uncertainty. However, it seems that election process will continue despite any circumstances arisen. Process from the announcement of election day to the posting voting has been held at the scheduled time frame. Postal voting will commence by the 23rd of this month. The only obstruction at present is the court case against the polls. However, there is less possibility of postponing the election when considering the situation at present. Rescuers continue to pull out more survivors from the rubble in Turkey and Syria as the death toll from the last week earthquake topped 36,000.
The program of granting the quakes have killed at least 31,643 people in Turkey as of Monday and more than 4,500 in Syria. A young girl named Miray was rescued from the rubble of an apartment block in the southern Turkish city of Adıyaman on Monday, 178 hours after her devastating earthquake shook the region, a minister and media report said. Broadcaster CNN Turk said the girl was 6 years old and that rescuers were also close to reaching her older sister. Anger over the lack of aid has grown in the northwest Syria, where survivors say the international community has abandoned them. Meanwhile, on what remains of the sidewalk, rescuers had piled up what they had managed to salvage: books that tell stories of families killed and injured and lives unpended. Serap Dönmez was rescued from the rubble of a collapsed building in Hatay, Turkey, 176 hours after devastating earthquakes hit, according to Anadolu News Agency. A week after the earthquakes, rescuers and families continue to look for survivors in the rubble of fallen buildings. In this city, closest to the epicenter of one of the earthquakes, many dead bodies remain buried under the buildings. On Sunday, as temperatures rose and became warm, the odor of rotting bodies became discernible. Some families have sought to cross the border to find loved ones. United Nations aid agency on the ground is warning the final death toll from the earthquake is likely to be at least double of the figures already reported. The US government has called on Syria and all parties involved to immediately grant humanitarian access to all those in need across the country. The program of granting housing aid and loans, which was suspended due to COVID pandemic and the economic crisis, has recommenced. Minister of Housing and Urban Development Prasanna Ranatunga directed the officials to take measures accordingly to release the balance of loan installments within a period of 1 week from the 15th of this month.
These decisions were taken at a meeting held last Friday with the district managers of the National Housing Development Authority. The minister advised the officials not to start new projects until the project that had been started during the period between 2020 and 2022 will not be completed. The minister pointed out that the people face many difficulties as the government elected attempted to stop the projects initiated by the previous regime. Under the Housing and Lawn project, the houses scheduled to be constructed in each Grama Niladhar division under the project financial assistance have been granted to 11,885 families. A sum total of 283 million rupees has been allocated to pay the families with the balance of the installments. Gamini Bandara Manikdevela of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation was awarded as the Excellent Journalist of the Year at the International Eminence of Excellence 2023 awarding ceremony held in Dubai yesterday.
Journalists of numerous fields will be selected for this awarding ceremony annually. Gamini Bandara Manikthivela won both the Best Investigative News Award in South Asia and the Best Economic Strategy News Award at the South Asian Business Excellence Awards 2022 ceremony for the documentary prepared by him under the title of Dollar Thambili. Manikthivela has been recommended for the Dubai International Eminence Excellence Awarding ceremony out of the journalists from 55 countries who represented various news segments. The awarding committee has focused special attention to popularize king coconut water as a natural beverage in the United Arab Emirates and within the Middle East regional market.
The 41st anniversary of Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation will be celebrated tomorrow.
All religious observances to mark the day will be held this morning. Offering milk foods for Buddha Puja was held at the corporation premises this morning. Buddhist religious observances were held at the Sri Kalyana Dharmashrama at Baudhalokamawatha under the patronage of the chief incumbent, the Venerable Mirihane Nanda Thera. Hindu rituals were conducted at the Pudiya Kadireshan Kovil in Bambalapitiya under the patronage of Chief Gurukul J. Nagaraja. Christian religious service was held at the Methodist Church in Valnavatta. Reverend Fathers A. Shirley Faber, Sujitha Sivanayagam and Jude Krishanta delivered the service. Islam religious observances were held at the Devatagar Juma Mosque under the aegis of the Chief Custodian Riaz Salim Maulavi. Mohammed Iqbal delivered the observances. Chairman of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation W.B. Ganegala, Director General Asanga Jailath and employees of the corporation were present at this event.
The US Embassy in Sri Lanka has organized a Youth Forum Leadership Convention to mark the 75th anniversary of the bilateral relations between Sri Lanka and the USA.
It was launched with the participation of President Ranil Wickremesinghe and US Ambassador Julie Chung this morning. 60 Youth Forum leaders representing each districts in the island are participating in this event. The aim of the Youth Forum Leadership Convention is to enhance the leadership skills of youth, especially in the field of universality, equality and transparency. The workshop with interaction, skills development sessions and many other items have been included in this convention. It will conclude tomorrow. This is the first convention that was organized in Sri Lanka since 2018. A number of US representatives have also joined the event.
A driver of a running bus had died of a heart failure. The incident was reported from Hinguragoda. The bus had knocked down a nearby hotel following the death of the driver. The bus was running from Hinguragoda to Minneria this morning at the time of the accident. The scenes of the accident were recorded in CCTV cameras in Minneria town. The police said the driver was a 75-year-old resident of Minneria. No one was injured in the incident.
And to bring you some light news now, avocado is a very tasty and nutritious fruit. Therefore, it has high demand in the international market. The avocado cultivation in Sri Lanka is to be developed to draw foreign exchange into the country. This avocado fruit cultivation project has been implemented in Bandaravela area by the Uva Provincial Agriculture Department. Plants of this hybrid variety of avocado fruit is made using budded stumps of hash variety of avocado imported from Australia. Minister Mahinda Amaravira yesterday made an inspection visit to the avocado sampling project located in Demodara area yesterday. The minister stated that budded samplings of avocado will be distributed among 600 farmers to grow in 600 acres under the first stage of this project. The fruits of this avocado variety is medium size and has 22% of fat. This variety has very high demand at the international market. If such projects can be popularized throughout the island, the country will have foreign exchange without much difficulty.
Now for some local news in brief. Body of the university student who disappeared in Chilau Sea area while bathing on the 11th of this month was discovered by the Sri Lanka Navy soldiers. The deceased was a 25-year-old Malit Dimantajalat, a final year student at the engineering faculty of the Sri Lanka Marine University. Some students who had bathed with the deceased said he vanished at once by a current of waves. Japanese ambassador in Sri Lanka, Mitsukoshi Hideki, planted a sapling at Sitavaka Wetland Botanical Gardens to mark the 70th anniversary of Japan-Sri Lanka diplomatic relations. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena and several others were present at the occasion. Farmers at the Badulla district have cultivated green chili in 150 acres in Kubulavela area. Minister Mahinda Amaravira inspected the chili cultivation recently. He said the produce of dried chili locally will be increased by 25% this year.
That's a look at local news. Stay with us as we bring you details about Cyclone Gabriel after a break. And on to foreign news now. Residents across the north of New Zealand are bracing for a rough night as Cyclone Gabriel lashes the country with torrential rains and winds.
At least 46,000 homes have lost power in the storm, while hundreds of flights have been cancelled. A state of emergency has been declared in 9 regions, affecting nearly a third of the 5.1 million population. In New Zealand's largest city, Auckland, authorities earlier evacuated people from 50 homes of around 30-metre high tower that was in danger of collapse, local media reported. Dozens of evacuation centres have also been set up in the city. Emergency services have also reported that people trapped by the rising waters include families stranded in a flooded highway. Authorities say they have received more than 100 calls for help since yesterday. Cyclone Gabriel is hitting New Zealand's north just weeks after Auckland and surrounding areas endured record rainfall and flooding, which killed 4 people. New Zealand's Prime Minister Chris Hipkins was among those stranded in northern Sydney Monday after flights of the capital of Wellington and Elsewhere were cancelled. Emergency Management Minister Kieran McNulty said the government was considering declaring a national state of emergency for the third time in the country's history. Weather officials had earlier downgraded Gabriel's intensity, but the Met Service in the latest update on Monday said it would still bring significant heavy rain and potential damaging winds. Although the cyclone is yet to make landfall, it has already topped trees, damaged roads and downed power lines. Meanwhile, some 10,000 international air New Zealand customers were disrupted by the cancellation of 509 flights. President Joe Biden ordered another object shut down, the 4th unidentified flying object in total this month to be downed yesterday.
United States authorities said the unidentified object was traveling at 20,000 feet, could have interfered with commercial air traffic. The United States military is unsure what 3 flying objects is shot out of the skies over North America, where and how they were able to stay aloft. The latest object shot down over Lake Huron in Michigan near the Canadian border has been described by defense officials as an unmanned octagonal structure with strings attached to it. It was downed by a missile fired from an F-16 fighter jet. The incident raises further questions about the state of the high-altitude objects that have been shot down over North America this month. U.S. Northern Command Commander General Glenn Van Herk said that there was no indication of any threat. Speculation as to what the objectives may be has intensified in recent days. A suspended Chinese spy balloon was downed off the coast of South Carolina on the 4th of February after hovering for days. U.S. officials said it originated in China and had been used to monitor sensitive sites. China denied the object was used for spying and said it was a weather monitoring device that had blown astray. The incident and the angry exchanges in its aftermath ratcheted up the tensions between Washington and Beijing. Yesterday, a defense official said the U.S. had communicated with Beijing about the first object after receiving no response for several days. Since that first incident, American fighter jets have also shot down 3 further high-altitude objects in as many days. President Biden ordered an object to be shot down over northern Alaska last Friday.
Now on to sports news. Good news to Sri Lankan cricketing fans from the ongoing T20 Women's World Cup held in South Africa. The Sri Lankan women's team recorded their second consecutive victory by defeating Bangladesh team by 7 wickets yesterday.
The match was played in Cape Town. Bangladesh won the toss and elected to bat first. They scored 126 runs for the loss of 8 wickets in the 20 overs. Shobana scored 29 runs. Oshadi Ranasinghe claimed 3 wickets for 23 runs. In response, Sri Lanka passed the victory target for the loss of 3 wickets in 18.2 overs. Harshitha Samaravikrama and Nilakshi De Silva built a 104-run partnership for the 4th wicket. It is the highest partnership for any wicket in history made by Sri Lankan players for the first time. Harshitha Samaravikrama not out for 69 in 50 balls.
The Hatton National Bank's netball team won the trophy of the National Netball Tournament 2023 by defeating the Air Force team in a final game.
The tournament, organised by the Sri Lanka Netball Association, was held at the Torrington Grounds in Colombo. 32 teams participated in the tournament. The Sri Lanka Army and the Sri Lanka Navy teams contested for the 3rd place, and the Navy team won the game for 66 for 52 points. The Hatton National Bank team won the final game against the Sri Lanka Air Force team by 45 for 28 points. The best middle order player was Gayanjali Amaravansha of Hatton National Bank. Malmi Hettiarachchi of the same team was named as the best defender. Umanda Soisa was the best shooter, and Gaini Disanaika was honoured as the netball queen.
That's it for tonight's English News Update. Thank you for joining us. Good night.